name of it, but the title of his speech is How People Find Your Website. And he is going to explain how search marketing impacts website traffic, for those of you who are very interested, and many of you are. Learn to present boring topics in an engaging way, and that is his drive and his purpose for today's speech. Now, Toastmaster, it's 5 to 7, timer 5 to 7 minutes. Please help me welcome Andrew Thorman.
Thank you, Joyce. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Today, I would like to talk about some simple and easy tips on how we can get more traffic to our website. It's not the most exciting topic, but I think we can make it a little bit fun. These are going to be low effort, no cost tips that us as small business owners, I know many of us in here are, can get more traffic to our website. This idea came to me last week when Stephanie spoke about how we grow our social media following. And in case anyone missed that speech, it was great. Stephanie hit on all the key points for social media, many of which carry over to search and website traffic. Stephanie spoke about posting consistently. Stephanie also spoke about creating and scheduling content in batches and different software that you can use to plan that out so you're not always worried at the last minute of what am I going to post. Stephanie also touched on the analytics involved in looking at your engagement and how you can help look at those analytics and create content based on what's working and what's not. And then lastly, Stephanie spoke a little bit about how do we engage with our audience directly through the platform to be a high-value resource and possibly get a conversion. So on the search engine side, we know that how we get traffic to our website is very important, and I'm going to give 3 easy tips that we can do that. Now, before I get into the 3 tips, I wanted to mention I'm not going to talk about paid search. Paid search is a little bit of a different environment where I like to talk about it kind of like it's pay to play, almost like a get-rich-quick scheme. You bid in an auction format to show users an ad based on their search term. You can get results very quickly, but you could also eat through your budget very quickly, so we'll cover that in a different topic. But what I'd like to talk about is going for lower intent keywords, and I'd like to use Toastmasters as an example. Let's say someone wants to search in Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo, best public speaking class, Glendale 85308. That is a very high intent keyword that I might be willing to spend money to show them an ad, and my ad might say, Peacock Toastmasters is the best public speaking class in Glendale, 5-time President's Distinguished Club, guaranteed to get you the results. That also could be a very expensive keyword to bid for depending on how many people are searching for similar terms. So let's focus our talk today on organic or search engine optimization, where you don't have to pay. You can create content based on what people are searching for to start getting your traffic to you. Organic search or search engine marketing for lower intent keywords, I like to talk about that more as your 401k. It's a little bit lower investment. You start slow, but over time, you'll see your followers go slowly, and then that graph begins to look like a hockey stick where the dividends are compounded over time. So tip number 1, we're going to talk about how you structure your page so it's easily readable for your users and it's easily indexable for the search engines. Tip number 2, we're going to talk about creating content based on what your users are looking for, not necessarily what you think is important. And tip number 3, we're going to talk about how we can give our website users a compelling reason and a mechanism to return. So starting from the top, tip number 1, we're going to talk about how do we structure our page. I'm not sure if anyone in here has experienced this, but if you search up something and you click on a result and you're met with a small image from 1992 and a large block of text with no spacing and a small font, you're going to quickly exit that page. And that's bad for a couple of reasons, because Google looks at certain metrics such as time on page and bounce rate to determine if this page is relevant to that search term. And Google's job, or the other search engines, is to serve up pages that are going to be relevant to what the user is looking for. And if you're telling Google that this is not relevant because people are bouncing very quickly, they're not going to show your page again. The other part of structuring your page is its readability for users. It's much more pleasant to open up a page with a clear heading, subheads, and then body copy that's going to be bulleted and spaced out well with large format text Possibly you could use charts and graphs and images to break up the content so it's easy to read. People spend a lot of time on the page and they continue to scroll. They get valuable information, and that's also a signal to Google, hey, I should serve up this page again in the SERP, or search engine result page, next time someone is searching for a similar topic. So number 2, creating content that is engaging to your audience. Using Toastmasters as an example, I know I joined Peacock Toastmasters, and if I spend a lot of time, effort, and energy creating content based on my reasons, that might not resonate with anyone else. And there's a lot of great tools out there that you can use that are free to help you with your keyword research. There's answerthepublic.com, where you can type in a phrase and it'll list out hundreds of questions that people are searching relevant to that term. There's also Google Trends, and there's another tool called Keyword Surfer, which is a Chrome plugin where every time you search for something, it'll show you the volume and other related search terms for that, and you can rank for those. So the best tip I can give in this situation is look at what people are searching for. Maybe someone's searching for tips to overcome shaky voice when public speaking. And you title that page, whether it's a blog or a website core page, 5 tips to overcome shaky voice when speaking, and then you deliver content thereafter. Make it very clear to the user and to the search engine what you're talking about. And then lastly, the third tip is create a mechanism and engaging reason for people to come back. We all know in business the old saying, it's easier to retain a customer than it is to get a new customer. The same goes for website traffic. So if someone's on your page, we want to keep them engaged in our ecosystem as much as possible. So perhaps at the bottom of your page, when someone's read this high value content based on what they're searching for, you ask for their email address to sign up for your quarterly newsletter, which gives great tips and tricks about the same topic. Or perhaps you're going to host a webinar, or even give people access to pre-recorded webinar about these topics in exchange for their email address. You can offer coupons and discounts and any other way that you give someone a reason to come back, and you earn the right to remarket to them by giving out high value content. You capture their email address and you can drop that into an email nurture where over time you can bring them from a very top of funnel looky-loo into a converted and paying customer. So again, these are all easy tips. We're going to structure our pages correctly. We're going to create engaging content based on what our users are looking for, and we're going to give our audience a compelling reason and a mechanism to return. This doesn't cost us any money, very low effort. You don't need to be techie coder to be able to do that, but these are things that we can implement on our personal small business websites right now that are going to make our traffic come through in that hockey stick type of curve, where it's slow, 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 and then all of a sudden it takes off, and our dividends are compounded and paid off over time. Thank you.
We're going to take 1 minute and